Hello, 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 everybody. It is awesome to see you. Lillian Reiki here, parenting strategist from Parent Support Network. With you again, with me again today is my lovely friend, Sharon Camello. So Sharon is a mum. She's a stepmom. She's an educator, a teacher. She's a coach. And she has a huge passion for kids, teens, and families. So her page, I've got to read it, Sharon. The Kid, Teen, and Family Whisperer Support During Challenging Time page is how I actually first met Sharon. So I came across Sharon's page and really just related to her openness and just the way she communicated. And I could see she had a genuine love for helping our families. And she put this page up to help people in the current challenging time. So how are you, Sharon?
I'm well, thank you. And thank you for inviting me on today.
Awesome. I love having someone to chat to rather than me just yabbering on for 20 minutes. So it's really nice. So today we're going to talk about video games and why video games, kids love video games so much and why they sometimes become a little addicted to video games. So I'm just going to record this. So so why kids love video games so much, particularly the more intense and challenging kids, and also why they just, become, I guess, addicted is a word that we could use. And Sharon is also going to share with us later on something exciting that she's got in the pipeline as well. But let's talk about video games initially. So Sharon actually started a conversation on her page last week about kids being addicted to social media in general, like devices, phones, computers, laptops, etc. But this is more specifically, we're talking about the video game theory. So those of you who know, I teach the Nurtured Heart approach, and the video game theory is one of the analogies that we use in the Nurtured Heart approach to talk about how we can help kids with their intensity and, really placing it into a positive place. And it's interesting, Sharon, because I know back when my son, who's now 28, who does not play video games and is hardly on social media at all, but when he was kind of, 14, 15, he was, I think I would call it addicted, because he was on this Warcraft game. I think it's still around, isn't it?
Yes, it is. World of Warcraft.
And he was on that for hours and hours and hours a night, yet he couldn't concentrate for 5 minutes to do a chore around the home or to do his homework, because it wasn't exciting for him. And I think, one of the reasons that video games are so compelling, particularly like for all children, adolescents, young adults, and might I say big grown-up adults as well, is that, they feel like they're a part of something. Like when they go in with their avatar, it's almost like, I might have a crap world outside of this game. I might be unhappy. I might be teased. I might not feel like I'm loved and supported, seen. But when they get into their avatar character and they get into this game, whatever the game is, and I've got no idea what all the games are, but, I know there are a lot of games, but they feel a part of something. They feel a part of a group, or they feel connected. They feel like they're relationshiping with other people who are also playing these games, and they can, they actually form friendships. I heard a story just yesterday. I was listening to a podcast, and the gentleman said that these two guys were gaming together for 20 years. They never met each other. And then one became the other's best man at their wedding. So it really is a sense of, connection for these kids, relationship with the storyline that's going on inside the game, but also with other kids, right? So what experience have you found with, kids with video games, or have you had kids that love video games?
Yeah, well, my funny story is that when Marco was about 7, he's now 24 and married and still a gamer, but when he was about 7, I said to him, it was a bit naughty of me, a bit sarcastic. I said, mate, if I ever have to organise a plaque, for your headstone, it's going to say, I just have to finish this level. Which, when you think about it, is fairly appropriate, for life. I just have to finish this life, this level. It's a bit Spike Milligan. But yeah, Marco was a big gamer. Lisa too. They both are still gamers. And in my parents teens group, it's probably the biggest issue that I'm asked about is, how do I get these kids off this gaming?
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
and I think this information that you're giving is so important for them to understand why the kids are gaming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Sharon also has joined our current Nurture Your Heart to Greatness
Yes.
9-week course. So tonight is our second week, our first week of really getting into the Nurtured Heart approach. And we're going to be talking about the video game theory tonight.
Great.
But one thing that actually this just randomly came into my head when we were mentoring with our mentor, Frank, back years. So he's another Frank, many years ago. He actually said to us, do you know how gangs are formed? And I'm like, kind of, but what do you mean? And he said, when a kid or an adolescent doesn't feel connected in the home, so they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they don't feel acknowledged, they don't feel like they're their parents or their caregivers' biggest supporters and fans, so they don't feel a part of the gang at home.
Yeah.
They go and seek that from outside the home. So he said literally kids get invited into, or in what's the word, not enrolled, initiated, yes, into gangs because they're seen as vulnerable, they're seen as not feeling like they fit in. And he said gang leaders are very good at bringing kids in who have that vulnerability, who don't feel like they have a connection in their real life, right? So Frank said to us, we need to make our home our kids' gang.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that our children want to be at home and feel loved, supported, connected, and acknowledged and seen. So that's just a little side thing, because I think a lot of kids, who maybe don't feel as connected in the home are using video games as their escape. They're getting into this world where yes, they've got an avatar, yes, they know it's not real, but they get into the game, as you say, I need the next level, the next level, the next win, the next whatever is happening in the video game. And in video game, life makes a lot more sense for the kids. It's a lot more logical sometimes than home and school. And the world of the game becomes their gang, right? It becomes, their community, their other friends who are playing the game, and, they compete against each other, or they help each other, or, give tips to each other. And it's interesting because in the Nurtured Heart approach, we talk about rules and consequences, which is our stand 3, absolute clarity, which is around consequences and rules and helping us to get back into a positive space. And one of the reasons that a video game makes so much sense to kids is because it is clear. The rules are clear. The consequences are clear. There's no wishy-washy. Today I'm in a good mood, so you get 5 warnings. But tomorrow I'm not in a good mood, you might get 1 or none.
That's right.
In a video game, the rules are clear. If X happens, Y happens, and kids, know that the consequence and that they can get kicked out of the game. But here's the thing, because the rules are so clear for the kids and because they understand the rules, but the beauty of it is that they know that they can get back in the game. And they can get back in the game and they can learn from perhaps what they did wrong when they got kicked out, and then they can improve. They can, they can go, okay, well, I did that and I, didn't look around the corner when whatever was happening. And now next time when I get on, I'll know not to do that. So they're actually learning and they're developing, as long as the game is not too negative, but they can actually develop really good skills with video games.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like anything, there are pluses and there are negatives to video games, but they can actually develop some good kids. And it can compel them to successfulness, with all the bells and whistles. And once again, the incentives, Sharon, are strong and they're predictable. The kids know what they need to do and they know what the incentives are. They know what the rewards are in the video game. And unlike in life, as parents, sometimes our rules are a little bit wonky, aren't they? We might say, this is such and so a rule in our home, but today, for whatever reason, I'm standing strong on this rule, da, 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 but then tomorrow it's a different game, depending on our emotions and how we're feeling. So getting back to that stand 3, and you're going to learn more about this tonight, Sharon,
Good.
is that we have, we call it the reset.
Yep.
So the reset is used for both the adults or the caregivers of the children to use for themselves to model for the kids or the teens or the young adults, and to also teach them. So when we are feeling escalated or, you know, or out of sorts or angry with the kid because, or the young person because they've done something inappropriate, often we're not in a good space to deal with that. And when we're in that space, we just go cranky, we yell, we nag, we scream, we threaten, we take things away from them, and we punish them, and we talk about the breaking of the rule when the rule's been broken, which is exactly the wrong time. In a video game, there's no nagging, there's no threatening, there's no, you know, like, it's clear. And that's why it's so good for the kids to understand that clearness. And the beauty is that they know at any given moment they can get back in the game. So with the reset, and I'll come back and forth between this analogy. So with the reset, you know, the adult has to find their own way to reset. So I know you did a video this morning on meditation, and I meditate every day as well. And so it might be just a few simple, you know, just turning away, taking a few deep breaths, getting back into the space of positivity and greatness. If you're still feeling like your heart's pumping and you just want to scream, take a few more breaths, take a few more seconds, or it might take you a few minutes. You might need to walk out into the backyard, take your shoes off and ground yourself on the grass or the dirt or the sand or wherever you are. So it might, you know, but you can actually show your kids, you know, and teach your kids this reset. And you can actually say, right, I need to go and reset. I'm feeling, you know, upset, or I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling like I'm not in a good space. I'm going to reset myself. And then when I'm feeling I can be more positive, I'm going to come back. So that's great modeling for the kid. And you can teach the kids to reset as well, because in the Nurtured Heart approach, we don't punish, we don't give time out, we don't take away privileges, etc. I mean, there are consequences for, you know, if really big things happen, you know, there have to be some sort of consequences. But in the general day-to-day stuff, we just teach them to reset so they can get back into the game quickly, just like in the video game. They can muck up, they can break a rule, they can get kicked out of the video game, but within seconds, they can get back in the game, back into the game of positivity, back into the game of successfulness, of winning, of feeling good. And we need to kind of, you know, keep that video game theory in mind when we are dealing with kids, when we are feeling stressed or when they're breaking rules or being uncooperative. And just remember that analogy of the video game. Just think video game, you know, like I have this other thing I say, I call it the switch it game. Just think video game, okay, how can I help my child get back into the game quickly? And not feel like this is going to be a 5-minute, 5-hour, 5-day or 5-week, you know, punishment. You're grounded for 5 weeks, or you're, you know, like, it just doesn't work, right? And it's like, you know, a tennis game or a basketball game as well. Like, all of the players, the referee, the players, you know, everybody understands the rules of the game. And a toe over the line is a toe over the line, or a ball over the line is a ball over the line. And I mean, I'm sure there's the odd discrepancies when we're not sure if it's over the line or not, but generally we know when a toe's over the line. So that's what we need to bring into our parenting, that predictability, that the kids know what the rules are, but they also know that within seconds or minutes, that even if they put a toe over the line, that they can be back in the game again, just like in the video game. And they can then be coming back into greater levels of successfulness. And what we do, Sharon, is when the kids reset, we then go into stand 2 of the Nurtured Heart approach, which is absolutely, yes, bringing in the positive and juicy recognition. I love how, even though, you know, a minute ago, Sharon, you were really angry and upset, but now I can see yourself calming yourself down. And that's really showing a lot of self-control and respect for the situation that's going on here. And I really appreciate that. I know you could be really yelling and screaming at me right now because I know you were angry, but you're calming yourself down. You're resetting back to, you know, a place of moving towards feeling better or being more positive. And that just shows me so much about you as a person. You know, you could have chosen a whole bunch of other ways to react, but here you are. Your heart's probably still pumping, but you've calmed yourself down. And I really, really appreciate that. And so then the kid feels good, and then they can get back into the game again. There's no like, oh, I've been kicked out of the game for a week or what have you. They can be back in the game within seconds, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I love that.
Yeah, it's about rich time in. So we have to make the time in rich enough so that they want to be in that space in our home. So we need to make sure that the kids want to be like that, their time in with us is rich and rewarding and positive. Because if time in with us is negative and nagging and yelling and punishing and reprimanding, then they're like, I don't want to be in that game at all. I'm going to go find another game to play.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, I feel free to jump in.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm practicing it in our household at the moment. You know, we have the stepson here, and it's been challenging. And even with the skills that I believe I have, it has been challenging. And then you walked in, and this is just great information. It's just so helpful, and I think it's helping me to change the way I approach him, and then it's a good cycle. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's all about that relationship. So we are parents or caregivers of children because we have a relationship with them that we want to nurture, that we want to grow. And I keep going back to my watering can analogy. You wouldn't take your watering can with all of your nutrients and stuff in it and go and water the weeds. But inadvertently, you know, a lot of parents are watering the weeds because they're just not aware that they're growing something that they don't want to grow instead of growing what they do want to grow. And it is just a matter of, you know, switching your thinking around and just, you know, it's a generational thing, right? It's how our parents parented us. And I mean, things have changed over the generations, but, you know, we still are doing a lot of this upside down parenting, right? Where we're focusing on the stuff that we shouldn't be focusing on. So, you know, I really love with the Nurtured Heart approach how it has the 3 stands and they all work in together. But the video game theory is something that I'll encourage you all, if you're listening in today, to, it's more than just about playing of the game, but the analogy of the kid feeling successful, feeling a part of something that makes them feel good, feeling connected, having what they see as positive relationships, even if it's with an avatar, right? Even if it's not with them, but in that space, they are feeling good about who they are. So I'm not for or against video games. I think there's positive to video games, but, you know, obviously, once again, there has to be some boundaries around them, you know, around, you know, how much time. You need to negotiate that with your child, not just decide as a parent, but, you know, negotiate that, compromise, talk about it, and, you know, and have a little bit of flexibility and understand why the child wants to be in that space. But you know what, Sharon, if we make their time juicier when they're not on the video game, in other words, if we go out and hang out with the kids, do cool things with them, do things that are of interest to them, you know, or even sit down with the video game with the kids and go, oh, what does that mean? And and actually show an interest. I did that with Caleb with this Warcraft thing. And I actually found it was quite an interesting game because it was quite skills based. I don't know if, and it was about them building communities and buying things and bartering, and like, it was quite a positive thing from what I can remember way back. So show an interest in your kids and what they're interested in. If I was to ask you, if you're a parent listening in now, what are the top 3 values of your child? Do you know what they are? You know, what are their top 3 values? What are their top 3 interests? And go out and do stuff with them So the video game will just be a fun thing they do every now and then. They won't want to spend hours and hours and hours on it because they'll have positive time in with you, with the family at other times. You know, our boys are grown up, they're adults in their 20s and 30s. We still do stuff together. We still hang out together. We have meals together. We go on holidays together. We enjoy each other's company. So we have rich time in. Like, we all have our own private time as well, but we have time in where we do things that we're aligned with together. And sometimes, you know, I can remember in the past when we were learning this, you know, really, for example, when Caleb and Andrew were building a car together, I really didn't have that much of an interest in the car or the mechanics or how it all worked, but I had an interest in the fact that he was interested and it was his project and it was something he was enjoying. So I would go out and say, oh, what is that? And how does that work? And he'd explain it to me and I'm like, it's all over my head. But, you know, I was showing an interest in him. So that's another big takeaway from this, but we'll leave it there for the video game. But Sharon, before we go, I would love for you to share with us what you're up to. Like, I've seen a little hint of you doing something new and exciting, and Sharon really is all about supporting families, you know, about mental health and wellness, about, you know, parents having great relationships. So tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, thank you. It's called Emoji. So quite current. And then I was looking for subtitles and Frank came up with Find Your Happy Face. So that's going to be the name of it, Emoji Find Your Happy Face. And I'm writing the book. And the letters, it's an acronym, and the letters stand for things. So E is for exercise and energy and emotions, and M is for mindfulness and meditation. So you get the idea that each letter stands for various strategies for wellness. And so what I'm doing on my personal page for the next few weeks until Christmas is to just get some people in to talk about different things and just explain, you know, like, for example, Thursday night, I've got Peter Drysos coming in and he's a personal trainer, exercise trainer, and he will talk about the benefits of exercise. But we're keeping it all really simple. We want strategies that people can have a go at. And the thing is, it's not rocket science. It's all stuff that we say, I should exercise more. I probably should eat better. I don't think that big bowl of ice cream last night did me any good, and I need to stop buying ice cream. So it's all the shoulds. And then what we're doing is saying, well, how can we do it a little bit better? How can we raise our vibration a little? And how can we feel a lot better? And there's a lot of people feeling very stressed and very weary at the moment. And so I want to make it really accessible to them, this emoji model of things that you know you should be doing, or things that you might think, I've never tried meditation. I wonder, you know, it seems for those people, you know, but I hear that it's very calming. So how could I get started? So I'll be doing, you know, posts and videos about how easy it is to get started.
So you're doing this from your personal page, not a business page?
Yeah, from my personal page. I will share some of it into the business page, which is specifically for families, because I want this to be for kids, for teenagers, for adolescents, and for adults, for the whole family. So I will share some of it, and some of it will be tailored to families. Awesome. But mostly just personal page.
Pop your Kid, Teen and Family Whisperers link below, and obviously people will see your name, so you can go and friend Sharon. Good. She's very friendly. and you can catch. So when will your shows be? Thursday nights?
I've got Thursday nights locked in. There'll be interviews. But I'll also be just posting things every day. You know, I won't be showing what I had for breakfast. I'll be everything I do for the next 8 weeks will be about mental health and just feeling that little bit better. And here's how to, you know.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited that, like, our course is going up till the 20th of December, so just prior to Christmas. So you'll be able to incorporate some stuff in that you're learning there as well.
Absolutely,
about relationships. And,
I want to do some cross referencing, because I'm learning so much with you, and I'm seeing it work in this very house, and then I can share that with people and how it's going.
That's awesome, because I mean, what we do is not just about parenting, it's about relationshiping in
Yes.
general and health and wellness, right? You know, having
Yeah.
a happy and healthy self, as well as imparting that feeling of happiness and health and
Yes.
wellness onto others in your life, but most importantly onto our kids.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. Yeah.
we have a responsibility to nurture those relationships for sure.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to, hopefully I'll jump on Thursday night. I don't think I've got anything on.
Great.
I'd love to jump on and listen in. And
Yeah, thank you.
you're a great interviewer. You have a great rapport with people and genuine rapport with people. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So looking forward to that. And yeah, so if you're listening in live, or if you are catching this on the replay, just pop in a comment. First of all, say hashtag replay, or just let Sharon and I know what was something you learnt or picked up from the video game theory that you can take into your relationshiping and your parenting. So that's it from us today. Thank you, Sharon, the emoji coach once again, and Lillian Reiki, parenting strategist from the Parent Support Network, equipping parents to enjoy happy and healthy children and relationships on purpose. So this was episode 7. So until next week for episode 8, we'll see you then. Bye for now.
Thank you.